Whew. Okay, well, today has been a mess. I just made it back home for the second time today, and we are here. Don't even know what we've seen so far. I'm going to start looking at what the bracket has given us, and we're going to talk about NCAA basketball today. I'm finally going to open my mouth about the state of Indiana basketball. I've kept my mouth shut for far too long, and we are going to discuss the tournament, where they play, if they play. I haven't even seen it yet. I just walked in the house. Today's been a mess. I'm trying to get myself situated and get ready here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the NCAA bracket, and we are going to be having that thing going strong this year. I got a few links to push in there, get that thing ready to rock. Hopefully, I get some folks up in the chat here in just a little bit. Like I said, I was all set up to be here at the start of this thing, and I had to go back to work today. Miss Lindsay, much love, my dear. Nice to see you. I finally ended my hiatus of angst, and I just want to let everybody know that the uncertainty of the way that this season has worked out after the NFL season was over really took a big hit on my brain about what I do for NCAA basketball. And I didn't want to do anything until the season was officially over. Now we're into prime time, back into the bracketology. I'm going to open another window here so that I can kind of get caught up and talk a little bit of basketball. Let's see. How are you doing, my dear? By the way, it's nice to see you guys. Anybody that's in the chat, so happy to see you all. I will let you know kind of where we stand going forward. I just got to get myself straightened out here today. I'm going to go through and look at a little bit of this as I got an opportunity to, and see some things that stick out. And we've been through two brackets, and the one thing that stands out first thing in the South, which is an area team for me, is Auburn is the number 1 seed. But that 8-9 game, I cannot believe Louisville is an 8 seed. And that potential matchup between Louisville and Auburn in the second round really piques my interest. That looks like something that could be, that could be really something as a game. And then Michigan and Texas A&M coming out of the 5-4 there, Big Ten. Michigan, I loved the game against Maryland. Dusty May, I wish he was going to be my coach next year. Them kids played inspired basketball yesterday and today, beating Wisconsin. Michigan got the Big Ten title. I've never been a Michigan fan, but I'm a Dusty May fan for life. Cruising down just a little faster through here. Ole Miss, the SEC is tough this year. Sports Cat, what's up, bro? Iowa State is a very real deal team. This bracket looks amazing to me. Marquette is a 7 seed. Shaka Smart's boys are very well prepared. And Michigan State coming in as a 2 to Auburn as the 1. That's a lot of interest right there. We'll come back because that's 2 Big Ten teams. I want to go through the East first. No question, Duke might be the best team in the country. Oregon is going to sneak in there at a 5. I really felt that's a good play there. What else do I see there? Alabama's a 2. Gosh, and Wisconsin is a 3 in that bracket. Arizona, the 4. We got an Arizona fan in here. That is pretty amazing. And now we're going to get to live. And we've got to the Midwest. We'll talk a little bit about the other 2. Anybody got anything they want to say, please get it ready. But Houston is going to be number 1 in the Midwest. And Southern Illinois University Edwardsville is going to be their counterpart. And I watched an interview talking with these guys. They got a local kid on that team. And I know that's not really a very competitive style of game, a 1 versus 16. But that team really caught my interest as a true Cinderella story for the tournament. In the 8-9 game, we're going to have Gonzaga sneaking in there at an 8 seed, which an 8-1 would be a Gonzaga-Houston second-round game. Sounds really interesting to me. And they're going to play, oh my gosh, the Georgia Bulldogs come in as a 9 seed. I remember they were in the bubble watch a while back. So every time I see these 8-9s go like they do, it's amazing. Clemson gets in as a 5. Interestingly enough, their head coach is basically one of the guys that they're looking for at Indiana, which a lot of Indiana fans are not too happy about. Clemson comes in as a 5. They play McNeese in Providence, Rhode Island on Thursday, 27-6. That's another team. The ones are out, Adam. 3 of the ones are out: Duke, Auburn, and Houston so far. Purdue gets in with 11 losses as a 4 seed. That tells you what they felt like about their strength of schedule, and they play High Point. And High Point is another one of those small schools, energy-ridden. Purdue should be able to handle that, but it'll be a fun game to watch because if one of those teams like that gets competitive, then it can be one of those days. Getting to the bottom of that bracket, the 6th game, Illinois gets in as a 6 seed with 12 losses. They're giving the Big Ten a lot of respect because it beat up each other this season really bad. And facing the 11 will be the winner of Texas and Xavier. Holy smokes. That play-in game between Texas and Xavier is in Dayton probably Tuesday. And there you go, Lindsay. The Musketeers are in a play-in game with the Texas Longhorns, which never would we have imagined when they created the play-in games being for teams like this. So that is going to be a Friday game. That will be a dandy. I can see 11 seed coming out of that and winning possibly. What's up, Tom? Kentucky sneaks in at a 3 seed with 11 losses. SEC getting the utmost respect this year, and they're going to face Troy. I'm not saying that that's one of those games that I feel like that's going to be one where they're just completely outmatched. UCLA, new Big Ten arrival, sneaks in as a 7 on Thursday, and they're going to come in and they're going to play in Lexington, Kentucky versus Utah State. And I watched these guys play the other day. Big Ten transfer from Purdue is on that team. Does Indiana have an Oregon problem? Listen, okay, well, I will tell you this. Drawing Oregon in the Big Ten tournament, I knew it was a one and done because Dana Altman is the absolute best coach from February through March in the NCAA. He has his guys ready to play. On Thursday, Tennessee will play Wofford as the 2 seed. A Tennessee, UCLA, Utah State. That Utah State UCLA game could be a dandy. I'm telling you right now. I watched them play the other day. The kid from Purdue plays on Utah State, and he did a really nice job. So that gets us one more region to go, and we're looking like they might leave Indiana out. They had them as the last team in. I'm going to look. San Diego State and UNC was the other play-in game. I'm going to look at the other one here. And I think there's a 16 play-in, yeah. So there's only one more opportunity. I think Indiana's probably going to be left out, if to be honest. And that's okay. If they do, they're going to be at 12. I don't know. Do they fall into that 11 on the next side? I'm not sure. If they get left out, I'm okay with it because, I mean, absolutely can say they deserve to be. And I can make the argument that they don't have a quad 2 or a quad 3 loss and they got 4 quad 1 wins. I can say that North Carolina shouldn't be in, and I easily because I think they only had 1 quad 1 win. Absolutely. I think their record will say that they do deserve a spot, but probably won't get it. I think Duke might be the overall number one seed. After Auburn lost, not sure. Yeah. So what you're seeing though, Lindsay, is a product. What you're seeing is a product of the way that the conferences are uh, kind of evolving to being just huge, right? And so you've got 18 teams in a conference. You're going to see more 10, 11, 12 lost teams. Auburn losing in their conference tournament and Duke winning. To me, that means I still say that Duke should be the number one overall seed. I know that they're going off the strength of the SEC this year based on all of that, and that's fine. Um, we're into the last bracket here, and we'll find out soon enough. I do think that Indiana squeezes in a spot. I think knocking, beating Michigan State at Michigan State, a convincing win against Purdue, and winning 6 out of their last 8 games, I think is enough. 6 out of 9, maybe. I think that's enough to merit a bid. I know that their net is only 52. Not 100% certain about that, but I wish they would get to this bottom bracket. Shoot, I got to refresh. Which means, North Carolina, no, they're going to be left out, I'm telling you. Because I'm seeing right now that North Carolina is in a play-in game with San Diego State. I think that puts Indiana out. I'm pretty sure that does it. Unless they move them up to a 10 seed. I didn't really see that. I figured that they got them in as the last 4 in. Not sure. No, UNC is in, bro. North Carolina is sitting there playing San Diego State in a play-in game. I see it right now on the bracket. The play-in games are Alabama State and St. Francis, San Diego State, North Carolina. That means that Indiana will either be a 12 or they will be they bumped them up one line to a 10 seed. The only hope that I think that they have is that if they're a 10 in this last bracket, Arkansas should be in there too. I haven't gotten to that yet. They haven't showed me that bracket yet. Let's get it loaded. And I don't have that one ready. They haven't got it smacked out for me. The number one overall seed in the West is going to be Florida at 30 and floor. I think they can. I think they won that game today to win the SEC. Very deserving. Conference played really well. Norfolk State gets to be the 16. The 8-9 or the 10-7, the 9 or the 10 would be make it Indiana and UConn on Friday. Make them a 9 seed. Come on, let me see it. Nope, that's going to be Oklahoma. 20 and 13, Oklahoma gets the 9 seed on Friday against UConn. Talk about a heavyweight 8-9 matchup. Those teams are always dangerous. Florida being the number one there in the favorite. The 5 and the 12 comes up next. Memphis gets in as a 5 seed at 29 and 5. Congratulations to the Tigers as we roll forward in Seattle, Washington, and they will play Colorado State, who is the champion, I believe, of their conference. I'm not sure. I watched that game the other day. What's up, Ringo? Sean says, "Go Gators!" Heck yeah, they look good. Yo, Hobo. The 4-13 game will be Maryland, who is dynamic, man. They are a really good team, very long and athletic. They got good guard play. They will be formidable. And facing Grand Canyon University at 26 and 7, that is another automatic bid. And that concludes the top half of that bracket. Man, I'd love to see a Florida Maryland matchup in there. Also, I'm going to post links here in just a little bit for the NCAA challenge. It is free. If you haven't got, here we go. It's going to be this 11. Missouri's the 6. If they're in, it'll be maybe, no, that's the playing game for the West region. Let's see who that is. And that is Drake. Drake gets the 11 seed automatic bid from the OVC. Keep an eye on Drake's head coach, Ben McCollum, as that is another one of Indiana's targets for coach next year. 2 coaches that are in the NCAA tournament this year. The 3-14 game, Texas Tech sneaks in as a 3 at 25-8. I see teams that are in 3 seed with 8 losses, and then I've seen a 4 seed with 11. University of North Carolina at Wilmington. I believe that is the Eagles. And there's another North Carolina team. If it's going to be Indiana, it's going to be on this. It has to be on this next line. And Kansas is the 7 seed, and they will face in Providence, Rhode Island. It will be Arkansas. Indiana got left out. Arkansas gets in at 20-13. Congratulations to John Calipari in his first season down there. There's some really good, talented guys right there. The 2 in the 15 game. St. John's will be the 2 seed. Rick Pitino, masterful job of the Big East. And who cares who the 15 seed is? That is the way that it rolls out. And I'm kind of shocked. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Indiana will move on trying to find their coach. A skid in the middle of the season cost them dearly. I will go back and say that at the end of the day, the fan base cost Indiana dearly, screaming and yelling for people's heads mid-season. I think that's a horrible way to go. John Hunter says, "Woo, pig suey," as they do get where they're going. The West region is now set. Unless I missed anything from the first 2, which I don't think I did. I'm shocked that Louisville dropped to an 8th seed. That really surprises me. And Clemson moved up. I figured Louisville would be at least a 5 the way they played in their conference tournament. Michigan, Big Ten champions, end up being a 5 seed. I feel like that's off a little bit. I feel like they should have been a little higher, especially higher than Purdue. Let me rotate this thing around. I've got to get the rest of my stuff done that we got going today. I got to figure out what I do with my phone. Oh, there it is. But yeah, absolutely. There was the risk today that this would happen. And that's okay. I want you guys, if everybody, check your email. If you have been in the NCAA Tournament Challenge before with us, you should have got an email today. If not, let me find this here right now and see if I can get it ready. IU did not make it in. They knocked them as the 2nd team out, basically in the first 4 out. West Virginia, Indiana, Ohio State, and Boise State. Basically, North Carolina getting in. They let them in by their net rank. I don't know how North Carolina's a net of 36 with only 1 quad 1 win. That's absolute kind of horse crap. I don't think they'll play the NIT, Lindsay. I think they're going to get that coach and get that staff out of there, and they're going to start working on tomorrow. I believe you will not see them go to the NIT again as you saw last year. Yeah, North Carolina did not really earn a bid. The 22 wins, I can go through and I can pick that apart. But the thing of it is that at the end of the day, if you do not take care of business, uh, and get, I mean, obviously, but I can't, I don't understand it with only one quad one win for North Carolina. That case is really tough. I don't know how the net makes them a 36 and that's a 54. But I did point it out in another chat recently. No team with more than, well, there again, they had 11 quad one losses. So um, I don't have an explanation. I'm gonna let me get this straightened out here if I can. Hold on a second. Uh, if you guys are not entered, I'm going to tell you the differences. Here's what's going on this year. Um, I got to get it to where I can bring it up on here. So just bear with me for 30 seconds till I get this brought up. So, okay, so everybody, this is how this is going to work this year. It's the same as last year. The It's in the Blood bracket pick'em challenge. There is the link right there. You have the ability to put in 2 brackets. Depending upon how many entries we get, I might up the ante a little bit, but I think if you get the opportunity to put in 2 brackets, so feel free to do that. Make sure that you know that your brackets are known who you are, and make sure that I and me or Alex gets a piece of that so that we understand it. But it looks like North Carolina and San Diego State are the ones that, if you want to go right down to it, are the ones that swipe that bid away from Indiana. And I kind of disappointed in that, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do as going forward. The fan base was absolutely atrocious this year. The team played good basketball when the pressure was taken off of the coach. Also, when the pressure was taken off the coach, they were allowed to play lineups that they weren't playing early in the year because of NIL and contract obligations and all that BS. And I really got a chance to sit back and watch that, and being disgusted with the process of how the IU fan base has been, and it's not been good this year. I think everybody put a little bit too much weight on Woodson's shoulders. I think he's kind of just a guy that had the bullseye on his forehead. Yeah, you know what? But that's just it. If people are going to be that way, there's not another team in the country that I could pick up and say that's who I'm going to root for. Not a chance in hell. Um, but born and bred, Central Indiana is where I come from. I grew up in Southern Indiana. I've always been a fan. Not that I agree with a lot of things that happened, but yeah. So I don't. So I saw some things this year in college basketball that I wasn't sure existed. But watching the Indiana University, watching how that all played out, as soon as they took the pressure off a coach, and he was said that he was gone. Then all of a sudden, the guys that were getting paid the money, the guys that they had the obligations for coming there, that weren't performing, kind of got set down and put on the bench. And the kids that have been there, the Anthony Leals, the Luke Goodies, the Trey Galloways, they really carried the load the rest of the way. And if they would have played the team they should have played the whole season and made people earn their spot on the roster, a la the way that it should be in college basketball, then I don't think we would be sitting here today questioning the fact that we did not make it into the big dance. That team is more than talented enough to be there. And, and the fact that they did not make it is kind of disheartening. And it isn't even about, you know, I oh yeah, Hobo. I get your frustration, bro, because it's like this. You know, when they relieved Coach Knight of his duty, and then Mike Davis, that team was going to be elite. Mike Davis got those guys to the finals. They lost to Maryland. And then after that, the debacle of trying to get in Kelvin Sampson, who broke rules. So there's the first stain. Dan Dockich, everybody was mad about this, when he interim, but it is what it is. Tom Crean did a pretty decent job, but the fan base was not having it. They went from Tom Crean to Archie Miller because he was the young hot guy at Dayton, and he found the pressures of the program to be too much. Mike Woodson, say what you want to say, he still had over a 620 win percentage. I know that he was not cut out for the college game, and good riddance, but I don't think it's all his fault. I think there's some blame to go up the ladder. I hate to say it. And I think there's some blame with this NIL and the transfer portal. I think there's some BS involved. Whoever comes in this year, I got 3 things that I want to see. I know the first year is going to be rough. I think you might get Luke Goody back. Hopefully he gets to stay. I think you're going to keep your recruit. You're going to keep your one recruit from outside the country who's a shooter. Whoever comes in to coach needs to start beating down the doors in the state of Indiana and recruiting homegrown talent. Indiana kids do not need to be leaving the state to play basketball. And build a program all like Matt Painter's done. You got to build a program from the core, and you've got to get the right kids in here that care about where they're at. Right now, the kids that are here cared about a paycheck. I love Dumar Ballo. He showed a lot in the second half of the season, but he was a paycheck. He was a guy to fill the middle. Luke Goody came here because he loved the university. Guess who ended up starting at the end of the season? Trey Galloway. Anthony Leal set the bench for most of 4 years, and he didn't score hardly a point, but he was one of the best players on the floor when they let him play. It's got to change at the core. You've got to build it from the inside out, and it starts in the state that you reside in. This NCAA tournament, I posted that link. Please make sure you guys all check it out, get in, because that is the best time for us. I'm going to put together a schedule. My work has been a little crazy, so I'm not sure what I'm going to be here for and what I'm not. Mbako will not be there next year. I can't imagine a situation where McKenzie comes back. The only ones that I can say that will for sure be there next year will be if Luke Goody plays a 5th year to help start this program. If they grant him a 5th year, I think he has to apply for it. And I believe the kid that they just got signed coming in from overseas said that he still wants to be with the program. I don't know. Now, see, that's the deal right there, Adam. His reaction is very typical for the area. You don't see it was just the way that it's been a long time in the coming, and it's been too many years in a row. Woodson goes 2-4, 2-2 in the tournament, and he's out. There's a level that people expect, and if they don't put out that level, then the fans around here are horrible. What's up, my bro? Firefighter metal detecting in the house. Colleen Yarnell says, go Heels. I think that's the one team that I don't believe should be in there, and I believe will be gone before they get started. Go Heels. Go back to North Carolina. Don't you like that, Adam? Sending the Heels back to North Carolina? Gonzaga, it's a system. It's the coaching staff. It is consistently. Where are they? The Heels? North Carolina plays San Diego State. There's another one. Miss Colleen in the house says go Heels. Send them back to Chapel Hill. Hey, I want everybody to sign up for the bracket. You can do two. If you want to do two, you're more than welcome to do two. If we get enough people in the bracket, me and Alex discussed it. We will add to the gifts for who wins, who gets second. We might even pay places this year. Um, so yeah, there you go. I'm all about it. I'm not going to disparage anybody. I just didn't think they deserved to be in this year, and I got a little dog in that hunt. Yeah, North Carolina could not win in quad one, and uh, Sam, all the entries are free. Sorry, it is absolutely free. The link is right here. I'll post it again. Get yourself signed up. You can do two brackets. If you can share the link, anybody that wants to join, Alex has opened it up this year, so feel free. Anybody that wants to be a part of it, we appreciate it. It's a lot of fun for us. We're trying to grow a bigger one every year. The more people that get in it, the more that we'll be able to put into it. Everything is free. Yeah. See, Hobo, I've been watching this basketball team since 1979, and I know that tells you how old I am. But you know, the first thing that team had with Yogi Ferrell is they had athleticism with Victor Oladipo. They had a point guard that knew how to play point, and they had homegrown talent on that team. The Sweet 16 loss for them was a shot that it shouldn't have happened. But yeah, and Adam, absolutely. I'll accept that. I'll accept my fate as being ancient. Everybody, please feel free to click into the challenge. It also make sure that you come back for football next year. Bro, I saw Bobby Knight throw the chair, dude. You know what it's about. Listen, I will never beat up anybody for I will never beat up on anybody for rooting for who you love. When you come in here, root for who you love, but just be respectful. That's the main thing. When the respect goes away, then it's no fun anymore. We can talk about a lot of things, but we got to have respect. And if we don't have respect, I expect it to get shut down pretty quick. I am a I mean I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. Drake made it, but the MVC is a lot different, and I think that's the conference they're in. Missouri Valley is a lot different than the Big Ten or the ACC or the SEC or the Big 12. It says invalid invite code. Well, that's the one my kid sent me. Hang on, let me find another here. Let me see if it works a different way. Let's see if it works like this. Hold 1 second. Let's go. I'm almost there. Let's see. I click it and it lets me. The link I just posted works. So go to CBS, sign up for the pick'ems, um, if and keep hitting me up. So if you can't get in, I will get you by Tuesday. We'll get it squared away. But when I click the link, it lets me in. Yeah, the ACC is kind of a mess, but the three out of they really deserve three. I just didn't think North Carolina deserved a bit. I'll be flat out honest. I thought the 1-11 or 1-12 versus quad one would be enough, but somehow their net was 36, and I don't know how that is. I'm not sure. How do you only get one quad one win and you have a net of 36? I'm not sure. Yeah, everybody's going to have to figure it out. You can create a new count. Just let me know who the count is. Yeah, I mean, they're going to, and I will, and listen, I can play devil's advocate here. If anybody wants to know the reason why Indiana was left out, is Indiana only had, let's just be real for a second. One, two, I'm going to be sure here. I want to get it correct. Not including anybody else, but I think they only had 2 wins versus teams in the tournament, and that'd be Michigan State and Purdue. Pretty positive. South Carolina didn't make it. I I love some of the SEC is very uber talented. They are. The SEC has got a lot of talent, but with this influx of NIL money, uh, places like Auburn, where Bruce Pearl is at, he's a good coach, and you give him money to buy players. Well, Ja'Kai Newton is Hobo is listen, I Ja'Kai Newton is one of my favorite players on that team, and they cannot get his knee correct. Um, his knee has never healed properly from high school, and it is sad. I felt like he was going to be a top-notch player, but his knee has never quite healed right. They put him on the floor for a few minutes. He looks pretty good, but I know that he's still having trouble with that knee on the rehab. And I got to say, the problem with the current coaching staff at IU is that they chased rankings instead of chasing players that wanted to be there. They chased kids like we'll use them Mackenzie Mbako that had the pedigree but didn't have the desire. Mackenzie Mbako is I'm not he is probably one of the more talented shooters that I've ever seen, and one of the worst defenders I've ever seen. It goes hand in hand. Um, Most kids just came there for money. Yeah, I mean Adam's right. Got to get players that play hard and love the game, not just want money. That's why teams like this Colorado State, this Utah State, I watch them guys play. Uh, Phenomenal. They go out and ball. Drake. I'm going to be big on the Drake game. You're going to be big on the Clemson game because I'm going to watch another former Indiana guy from the University of Evansville that coached them, and I'm going to see how those guys look. I'm not a big fan. I don't think I don't think that he's the guy that I particularly want to see get the job. But I'm told that I was told that a lot of people have turned down this job. You guys know that there is a possibility that if they don't get who they want, that they bring Woodson back to finish his contract. You understand that that is still possible. Balu gave Indiana a fighting chance, but shooting guards didn't deliver. I think when they finally figured out how to play Balu in the lineup and get him the proper amount of minutes with Malik Renew's athleticism and switch the lineup around and finally figured out a way to let everybody play, I believe a lot of the guards did. Right on, Colleen. I'll be glad to have you guys in. I haven't started picking mine yet, but me and Alex are going to sit down sometime soon. She's working a double today, and we will get everything all squared away. I was hoping that this would be a happy stream for the fans, but it's not. It's one of those that tells you that, you know what, you've got to perform and you got to get your team ready to play every single game. There's only like one or two games that kept them out. Personally, I'm trying to figure out. Hobo, you come back this spring once everything's sorted out and I start pushing through the content. I'll give you an opportunity to fall back in love with what they have. Whatever comes in here, I'll find the best possible scenario out of it. And look at the turnaround at Kentucky. Kentucky loses John Calipari, a Hall of Fame coach. Whether you like him or not, he walks out because of the fan base. He walked out because of the disparaging remarks from a fan base and goes to Arkansas where they accept him with open arms. He didn't have the greatest season this year, but Mark Pope was not expected to be the guy. But when you've got a university that has influence, money, and a reputation, anybody can come in and put together a roster. My thing is that Indiana needs to look within the state of Indiana, look for kids that want to play at this school that weren't given an opportunity, that went off to other places, because I'm tired of them coming back in here and beating us later on. And they need to rebuild this roster. This kid that's coming in from, and I can't remember his name because I didn't expect him to stay and I didn't devote any time, but he came in because he wanted to play at Indiana. And even though he's a foreign kid, Luke Goody wants to put that fifth year in at Indiana. That's a start. You just got to go through and you've got to find the right coach that's going to put in the right culture. And it can't be just about the money. You've got to find people that want to play for the university, that want to be home, that want to love it. And wherever it falls, if you put the right guy in the job, I don't care what the record is. If it's the right culture and the right, they go out and play the right way, I'll take a 6-25 season. But if they go out, and it's the same kind of crap that you saw where you question how they're coached, and then people are going to have a problem. And people questioned everything that Woodson done, every last thing. But like I said earlier, there was more to what was going wrong here than just him. Keep that in your head. I know everybody says good riddance. I'll tell you right now, he couldn't manage substitutions in a way that was conducive to winning games down the stretch. He always played his favorites until it was time to not play them. Same thing happened. Tamar Bates and Caleb Banks both had outstanding seasons. CJ Gunn had an outstanding year at DePaul this year. Those kids left this university. CJ Gunn was an Indiana kid, and he was the right style of player for that offense. But he didn't get the opportunity because he wasn't one of the highly touted guys. Indiana's got a lot to fix. I'm going to start doing a weekly live. It's going to be something just to talk, just like this. I wanted to get in here for the bracket today, talk about some of the matchups. I was very excited. I'm very excited to see the 8-9 matchup from the South and watching. I really think Louisville should come out of that against Creighton, which it should be a good game. But the Louisville and Auburn game, I feel, is going to be really good. Pat Kelsey in his first season at U of L. My homeboy Colin should be in here pouting up his Louisville Cardinals. And then the possibility that UC San Diego and Michigan game, and then the Texas A&M Yale game, both of those games have upset potential, but both of those teams have Final Four. Michigan has a possibility of making a Final Four. Hope, in my opinion, Woodson got the talent we were lacking with Archie, and he did well in his first season. The fall off has to be studied. Oh, listen, the fall off was when you gotta say for what it is. When Trace Jackson Davis left, that's where the fall off was. Trace Jackson Davis was a college icon. He was that kind of player. Khalil Ware and then Mackenzie Mbako, they had the very same demeanor. Khalil Ware had a motor issue. They got him built up. Now he's going to be an NBA stud. Woodson could see talent, but the problem was always that it was like, F it. This, nobody really adopted the university, but Trace Jackson Davis, Indiana kid. I mean, you got to understand that you got to have people that love and bleed the color that they wear. Woodson could find talent. They recruited the South very well. They recruited. Look, Miles Rice is going to be good, but somebody needs to teach him how to be a point guard. He gets out of control. Kenon Carlisle is going to be that type of player. But I bet you those two guys didn't grow up dreaming for playing for Indiana like Luke Goody did. At the end of the day, those are the guys, the Luke Goody, the Anthony Leal. That's the team I want to watch. Listen, Bob Knight never, very rarely did he have the very best guy out there. There was a couple times Calbert Chaney, AJ Guyton, Jay Edwards, Lyndon Jones come out together from Marion. But just, that, very, in the 90s on, it is it's got to be a combination. And with this new dynamic of NIL and the transfer portal, you got to find the right kids. What's up, Zach? Good to see you. There is a link, if you can find it, Bracket Pick'em Challenge from CBS. It's in the blood. We give away gift cards and prizes. Please, you can put 2 brackets in. I hope everybody will enter. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to look at the schedule and figure out what my schedule is. I'm going to put together, I'll see. I'm going to go through and pick a game, at least one game in the first round, maybe 2, and then just hang out. So I want to get back into it. Also, I'm going to start talking some football once a week. I'm going to pick a night that I can get in here and run a live. Feel free to do the second one, Firefighter, if you like. We opened it up to 2 just to give everybody 2 chances, because sometimes people like to pick one bracket with their heart, and then the other time they want to pick it with their brain. So and then when they get confused in the middle, that's when it's a problem. So Alex and I decided that 2 brackets gives you the opportunity to take your best shot with your heart, and then take your best shot with your brain. See which one comes out on top. But not meaning to keep everybody in today. Sorry about your luck, IU. I don't think I saw them showing them waiting on, I think it was probably known beforehand. I've got one of those brains that doesn't think. But you guys are completely awesome. It's in the blood. We're going to have the prizes are great. Just it'll be gift cards, and if we get enough people in it this year, I think last year we had 40 some. if we get it up, we'll add prizes for placing. So be sure to get them filled out. Much love from me and my daughter, Miss Alex. We will see you guys very soon. Thank you for stopping in, hanging out tonight. I will start bringing you updates on Indiana basketball, and I will start bringing you updates on the NFL as a whole, because Alex and I cover all of it, and we'll be getting ready for the draft. I do have some picks already. I've already got my first. I got my first board up for my first top 10 picks, and I will share them later. You guys are awesome. See you soon.